I'm Mandel Eugene. I go to Tulane University. I play football, linebacker. I say coming into football, I had a lot of mentors, especially in middle school and high school. So one of my mentors was Coach Drew. That was my first real football coach. So that was a little league in little league. So I think he kind of taught us like mental toughness and what it takes to play in college. I mean, not college, in high school. So I kind of took what he taught me into high school, and then getting to high school, I met my head coach was Coach Monica. I had my defense coordinator, Wayne Stein. And then later in the years, we brought in some more coaches, Coach Brown, Coach Talley, that taught me a lot of the fundamental stuff because they coached a lot of college guys. So just having them around, they showed me like the things that I should be doing and the things that I shouldn't be doing on the field and off the field. And then I had a trainer, his name was Albert Brock, AB Explode. And he taught me a lot also, just being around me in high school as a young guy, being around all the college kids at his facility, working out with them, just learning the fundamentals and the ropes and what it really takes to get to that next level. I feel like the biggest advantage I received from AB was working on my flexibility because, me, I was kind of a strong kid. I wasn't always the biggest, but I was kind of a strong kid, muscular kid. So I was always tight. And he always focused on me making sure I was loose, my hips were loose, stretching. That was like a big thing for me. So I feel like that kind of gave me an edge a little bit on a lot of people in high school, and just having that mindset of being the most physical out there and just doing your job to the best of your ability, every play, every snap. So kind of like I said with AB, we focus on a lot of flexibility things. So I feel like my biggest thing then and still kind of now is me loosening up, being flexible, stretching as much as I can to kind of help me out with that. So I feel like that was kind of my biggest challenge, and especially in high school. In high school, it was kind of like, I don't know. In high school, you could just at linebacker you just run around and hit, but once you get to college, more fundamental. You have more coverage, so you have to be dialed in on more things. And I feel like being loose as an athlete is about like the best thing you could do because I feel like that kind of is overlooked in high school and a lot of places. So I feel like that's about the best thing you could do is working on your flexibility and being able to open because that'll help you with your breaks, your cuts, all of that. For starters, I'd say something that I feel like made me stand out on the field was my work ethic. Like you never gave up on the play, no matter how hard it was. No matter if the other team got a first down, the next play mentality. That's always a big thing in football, no matter what level you at. And just being physical, forcing, making yourself be physical. I feel like that was a big aspect in high school for me too. And I'll say off the field, it was kind of weird for me because once all of the coaches started coming in, I started talking to coaches, started getting offers. Then COVID hit around that time, like around the time where I was about to commit and looking at where I really wanted to be. So I would say the in-person meets that I had with coaches, I feel like the most important thing with that is just be yourself because that's the only way you'll really find your real home. Because if you're not yourself and you're acting like you're someone and then you get there and you're a completely different person, that'll kind of throw the coaches off and throw your relationship off with the coaches. So I'll just say always be yourself and being recruited. So, and I would also I think, like I said, it was kind of weird. So a lot of the coaches that came in before COVID, that was supposed to come to our spring games and stuff, I never really got to talk to them because of COVID. I really couldn't take official visits or visits at all. So that was kind of a weird process for me. And it was kind of a rush process too at the same time. Because with the COVID year in college and having COVID in high school, you kind of had to make a decision quick, kind of, to be honest. Actually, Tulane was my first offer. So we had when I was D lineman at St. Charles Catholic, Mason Narcisse he was my best friend. We grew up together, honestly. So he ended up coming on a visit. He hadn't already had the offer. If I'm not mistaken, I think he was committed around that time, committed here. But he ended up decommitting and going to UL. But anyways, I came with him, and Coach Fritz ran up to me at practice, and he offered me right there. So That was big for me. And then I started seeing him around school. And with Coach Fritz, he was big on. He wouldn't even come talk to you. He'll come there and he'll talk to your teachers, your coaches, just to see what type of guy you were. So that's why it's always I say it's important for you to always be yourself and just don't force anything and always hold yourself to a high standard and be a high character person all the time. A cousin that came to Tulane, and that was kind of the only reason I kind of knew about Tulane. And this wasn't we weren't really around that time. I was just finding out he was my cousin when I was coming here talking to my grandparents and stuff.
So he factored into that decision, I guess.
I mean, not really because we weren't like he wasn't my cousin that I was always around, but I knew about him through my grandparents. So like I wouldn't say he was a fact of me coming here, but that was just one way that I knew about Tulane. So, but before that, of course, my dream school was like a Bama or LSU. But once you get to that your senior year in high school, that's kind of when reality hits you. Like you just have to make your decision and go somewhere where you can play ball. Which I'm grateful that I have Tulane because it's great competition, a great school, great atmosphere to be in, a great football atmosphere to be in too. So, and I feel like coming here made me a part of something big. If you pay attention to how we've been playing, you know what I'm talking. For sure, one of my challenges. Well, I wouldn't even say a challenge for real, but it was a whole different level of what they expected from you. So like high school, the ball in the air. If it's a deep ball, you probably not running to it. But here, literally my first day, they threw the deep ball. I'm just sitting there watching it, and coach got on my behind about that. So that kind of woke me up a little bit and showed me that I'm not in the kiddie pool no more. I'm in the deep end. So that's why you have to is either swim or drown. You know what I mean? But I picked up on a lot of stuff because I had great guys coming in my freshman year. People like Dorian Williams, Nick Anderson, Tajay Spears, Macon Clark. So just being around them kind of helped me adapt fast. So it wasn't. I feel like it wasn't. It was a big change, but it wasn't too bad because the guys that I had around me that kind of helped guide me into what I needed to do and where I had to be at. I say for sure, like just for one, being a great leader off the field. So kind of lift guys up and the freshmen that's coming in, freshmen or older guys, just giving guys words of encouragement and letting them know where they're wrong and how to fix it. So I feel like that's a big part of it. And of course, I played a lot of special teams this year, so always making sure I'm doing my job and making sure the man next to me is doing his job, and we all doing it together as a brotherhood and continue to keep that brotherhood on and off the field. I feel like that's a big part of that. So and just going into these next few years, just working on being better at my position, learning more. The big thing really is learning more because when a lot of people come into college, they always think it's just a physical aspect, but it's really more of a mental aspect. Like your mental health, learning on and off the field. Because if you just get complacent, then things just won't work out the way you think they would. For sure, coming in, I didn't think mental health was that big of a deal. But when you get to college, there's a lot of things that could overwhelm you. You have class, real life problems, football. So when all of that started to hit me, I kind of felt myself starting to break down, like mentally. So for one, I started talking to our counselor. Started going to see her when I felt things were starting to get too hard or getting overwhelmed. I'll call and talk to my mom. She's always been a big point, a big well, she always been a big person in my life that I go and talk to when things got hard. But having her and someone else outside of my family to talk to, that was good. And I worked on breathing techniques, even doing yoga. So that was kind of like killing two birds with one stone. Doing yoga, I'm relaxing, clearing my mind, and also keeping myself flexible. And I feel like that's some of the things that I did. And I also started reading more. I found peace in reading, like being outside and reading a good book, like that kind of helped me clear my mind from a lot of stuff. I would say for sure in high school, for one, the first thing I would tell myself is everything is not what it seems. So like, all the stuff you see on social media, on TV, like a lot of that's just to get your attention. Like it's not real. Like all the people you see that's doing the big things, being flashy, and all of that is really not. Is just I don't want to say it, but it's fake. It is because a lot of people see that and just want to rush into stuff, but don't realize that all of that takes time. Yeah, you could use that as your motivation, but it all takes time. It takes a work process, discipline, um, just a great mindset. Man, you just have to be willing to work every day. And I will also tell myself that no matter what happens, just stay on track. Like don't be focused on your dreams, no matter what your friends say, your parents say, what no one in your family say. Just stay on track. Um, I'm a big religious guy, so pray and keep your mind focused on what you have at hand. So I think that would be something I would tell myself.